This is Deep Dive into Joy, and I'm your host, Gina Rickner.
Hey Joy listeners, it's your host Gina. Welcome back to Deep Dive into Joy. Here we share a variety of things from testimonies to journeys to health and wellness and everything in between. Today's episode is all about transformation, about what happens when someone encounters Jesus and everything changes. My guest today is Karl Peterson. He's a dad, a follower of Jesus, and a friend that I met at church. We hear about his story of how God met him, changed his heart, and how he now lives in joy through it all. But first, Karl, I like to ask every guest, just as a fun little question, what is your favorite drink?
Hey, thanks for having me here. My favorite drink, so I order most often at restaurants.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Because I'm a basic guy. But when I go out to like coffee places, it's an iced coffee with caramel.
Okay, that's my favorite.
Yeah. That's my go-to coffee drink. I didn't know what you were looking, or restaurant drink.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Whatever one. That works. Okay, so like I said, I met Karl at our church at TCC in Clearfield. This is where we were both serving the kids' rock ministry. Karl, again, welcome to the podcast, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, Karl, I know that you have some things you would like to share with us, so if you want to go ahead with that journey.
Yeah. So for me, as we were talking just a little bit before, I just would like to share a little bit about how I came to follow Jesus. I grew up in a non-Christian home. I didn't grow up going to church. I grew up in Michigan, the greatest state in the union. Before
too cold.
But lots of lake effect snow.
Yeah.
I went to a Christian summer camp called Lake Ann Camp, and it was there my counselor confronted me, and he said, "Karl, there's two ways to lead. You can either lead towards Jesus, or you can lead towards Satan, and those are your two options." And me, I didn't ever want to be responsible for somebody going to hell.
Right, and he's straight to the point.
And that was kind of a basic. So I was like, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
He goes, well, then you need to follow Jesus. That's the only way to get people to Jesus. So I was like, all right, I'll start doing that. And so after that, I started going to church, and I got connected to my youth pastor there, Jamie, who's a dear friend even to this day. We talk often, and we got connected. I got baptized doing that, and he gave me an opportunity to share my story about how Jesus had changed my life in front of my friends at a Super Bowl party, and it was awesome. I talked about my life, and I got up there. It was the most amazing thing I had ever done. But and I walked down and I said to him, that was the most amazing thing I'd ever done. And he goes, that's what I do every day. And it was then that I knew I wanted to be a youth pastor. So I go from that conversation, I turn around to go get some pizza, and my friend Hami Ibarra stops me and he says, the guy you talked about on stage is not the guy that I see every day at school. And it was at that moment that the reality had hit me of, I knew what it meant to be a Christ, even though I was young, right? Like,
right.
I knew what it meant to be a Christ follower. Like, I was going to church, I got baptized, I was doing the things, but I hadn't had a transformational life. And I hadn't shown any hope. And growing up as a single parent home, my mom's mentally disabled. We didn't have a whole lot of things. I started working at a young age, and because of how I grew up, my idea of success was like, maybe I could manage a hardware store someday. Like, that was as grand as I thought. Right. Like, maybe I'll have my own.
But you were still dreaming.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I was still dreaming. I was 13.
It counts.
And I was like, I can have my own double wide trailer someday. And it was, it again, not bad or anything like that, but just very, very low. I didn't feel like there was anything greater than my little town. But then having that conversation with Jaime, it hit me because I realized this thing that I'd set out to do, which is help people know Jesus. Here I was actively not helping, because I was living this double-sided life.
So it was more like talk the talk, but weren't walking the walk?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And because of that, I'd hurt somebody knowing Jesus. And that devastated me. And I had just also experienced this life-changing event of sharing my testimony and speaking in front of people, and most people would hate it. I loved it. I loved talking in front of people.
So you're meant to be a teacher.
I loved it. And then I gained a greater hope that day. That's where I knew I wanted to be in full-time ministry. I knew I wanted to go and pursue that, and my life switched towards that. I started spending more time at church, connecting with the leadership, helping them, by doing internships, and they were teaching me, and they were the ones who actually told me to go to, at that time it was Baptist Bible College. It later became Clark Summit University, and now it's closed, the college I went to. But they sent me out from Western Michigan all the way over to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Wow. The
Electric City. It's where I met my wife, and my whole my life changed. And
that's where you're meant to be then.
That's where I was meant to be. And it was because of that. It was because of that choice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I guess lead us into, what happened after college.
Yeah, so after
a little bit of your testimony there. Your testimony is similar to mine as being a teen, although I was the same. I talked the talk but did not walk the walk. I think that's probably the majority of us.
I think that's a lot.
But I got saved and baptized when I was 12, so pretty similar. Like my youth group days are pretty much what shaped me and made me who I am today. That's where I learned about Jesus. It's where I grew up. And, I kind of did the same things as in, like helping the younger ones come to Christ too, as I was walking my journey in my youth days. So it's kind of similar within that background, but lead us into like your, I guess, adulthood.
So I went to Baptist Bible College, Clark Summit University, and I was in the youth pastor program. I wanted to be a student pastor. That's what I knew I wanted to be. So I was there for 4 years. My sophomore year, I met my wife, Elizabeth, and I started following her around the campus until she said she'd date me.
Like a little puppy dog?
Yes, like a little puppy dog, yes. And then once I graduated, I moved out to northern Michigan, just north of Petoskey, Michigan.
Okay, so you went back.
I went back, and I was in the Great White North. That was the tip of the mitt.
Oh,
they
my.
Call it. So Petoskey, Mackinac Island, kind of in between there.
Okay.
And I was there for 4 years, and I did the student pastor thing, full-time ministry, and that was my first. I made a lot of mistakes.
I'm sure.
It was just
none of us are perfect.
Yeah, young kid coming in. I didn't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple events that stuck out to me. One was, and I had no idea. So I started May 12th of 2009. And in June, I said, hey, let's walk down to the ice cream store. I'll buy everybody ice cream. And, which I thought that's a great. And then we'll be back. Pickup's at 8 o'clock. We're heading down. We're just going 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And we walked down there. Well, somebody had put up a sign, unbeknownst to me, that we had gone to Dairy Queen for ice cream. So a parent came by to pick up their kid early. saw the sign, went down to Dairy Queen, didn't see her kid, freaked out.
Yeah.
Like, rightfully so. And then coming back, saw us all as we're walking, and I have no idea, pulled in and chewed me out.
Wow.
Just, berated me up one, down the other. It was, and I'd been working there for probably a total of like 2.5 months.
Oh my.
And
not the first experience you want to go through.
It's not great. And I didn't even know they put up the sign. I had no idea.
Wow.
So, but it was part of that. I remember being like, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And I went to college, and that was great. But this is so much more than I thought it was going to be. It's so much bigger. And I started, I like getting more into reading books and learning. And I met a good friend of mine so here's the crazy thing. So that next day I was just like emotionally devastated, right?
Yeah, which everyone would be.
Right, yeah. And so I'm like, I'm just going to go for a drive. So I drove, I think it was like a half hour, 45 minutes north, and I went to First Baptist of Sheboygan, and somebody had told me they had a youth pastor there that was relatively new. And I was like, I'm just going to go say hi. Well, he became a dear, dear friend of mine. And we actually went to the same college at different times. We were in the same dorm.
Like I said earlier,
yeah.
The world is so small.
It's so small.
So big and so small at the same time.
So that was it was such a life-giving relationship. That's
awesome that you had that kind of, I don't know, personality and momentum to just be like, hey, I'm going to stop in this church and introduce myself to this guy. That's so cool.
Hi. Yeah. And it was, I really was like, I've always, I'm a big team focused person, and I realize like my limitations, and I love just connecting with people. So for me, it was like literally not even, it's
that big of a deal.
It's not even that big of a deal. It's like speaking up front. Like, I understand that it terrifies people, but I never feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, I get nervous. I shouldn't say that. Like, I get nervous. But to me, it's like it's fun. It's like going for like a side-by-side ride and speaking in front of 200 people are basically the same amount of fun.
Yeah, you're a different kind of person.
I'm a different kind of person.
That would not be enjoyable for me.
So I worked there, and it was a small church. We were about 80 people. We created a vibrant youth group there. It was a lot of fun. Learned a whole lot, and after about 4 years, I felt like it was time to move on. God was calling me to something different, and looked for a couple different jobs. Went to Scranton, and I had a weird church experience at Scranton. It's not, well, I'll just share it, and if you got to cut it, you can cut it. But so there was a small traditional Baptist church out there, and we had talked to them, and they had they had the finances, they had the desire to change. It's just they needed the leadership, so they hired me to be their student pastor to help bring about the change. And about 2 weeks in, the lead pastor resigned.
Wow!
And because he hated the church. And then he resigned, unbeknownst to me, right after I had just moved my whole family 12 hours. And he left, like, gave a sermon. At the end of it, he said, effective immediately, I'm out of here.
Wow.
And the next week, the church had the real reason the pastor quit meeting, which was the most venomous, angry thing I had ever been a part of. And after that, very similar, I was like, I got to go talk to somebody better. I need to get out of this.
Yeah.
So I went to another church where I knew people, and so I just walked in and I was like, hey, I'm new here, looking to connect with other like-minded individuals. Is anybody available to talk? And Danny came out and he kind of gave me a tour of the church. I shared about, who I was, and we had a great connection time, and it was a lot of fun. At the end of it, he told me that they were looking for another pastor and asked if I'd be interested, and I was like, yeah,
of course.
Great. So I went through a bunch of interviews. It was really weird. I had to ride in a kayak and be rolled underwater in one interview. It was weird.
Okay.
It was.
That's different.
It was very different. But yeah, so I ended up working there for 7 years at that church.
They never told you the purpose of having to do that for.
It was a trust thing.
Oh, okay.
But it was like, I don't know. I mean, how many you
just
worked
different,
different jobs? How many have put you in a pool in a kayak? Whatever.
Okay, sorry.
I honestly felt like, I told my wife at the end of it, I think I had 10 interviews with them, and about half of them felt great and half of them felt terrible.
Okay.
And then she asked how I felt like on the final interview before they said they were going to decide. And I told her flip a coin. I said, that's honestly how I felt. Flip a coin. It could go either way. They ended up hiring me. I worked there for 7 years, a couple different positions, but I ended as the family pastor over the Wilkes-Barre campus. So I was in charge of birth through high school. The campus we were like 300 people.
Okay.
So there was a lot going on, and I was there, and then after about 7 years, I got during a performance interview, they let me go, and that super stunk.
Yeah.
And really rocked my world, and I've taken some time off of full-time ministry since then. So now I sell cars.
Yeah.
And then about 2 years after being out of the church, I started a coaching program. So I helped.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that, for you to share that.
Yeah, so I started at the Townsend Institute. I graduated with my master's at the Townsend Institute at Concordia University in Irvine, and that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And, but it looks really good on my wall.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It looks really
and
good
on a resume.
Yes. But yeah, so I graduated with that, and so now I have it's called Coaching for Growth, and so it's life coaching, business coaching, leadership coaching that I do, help people out. Okay,
so our friend Jason, that Karl and I had a conversation before we even started the podcast, but we were talking about Jason. I had him on the podcast, and awesome. He actually just started his own life coaching business as well. So it's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, it's a huge growing field. I can't remember what the amount of growth was year over year. I think it was like 5 or 10% or something year over year of growth. And it's something more and more people are the ROI on investment and trying to just work through those different things. It's a huge opportunity, and it's helpful for me as getting inside the church. If anybody's been a part of the church, they know it's a difficult thing. There's a lot of it's one of the most ingrained parts of because it involves our spirituality, our community, our service. There's history there, and navigating all that is extremely difficult. And so for me to jump right back into it, it's just feeling tough.
Yeah.
But being able to help people.
So that's your target audience mainly for your life coaching business, is people wanting to get back into serving the church or serving the church in general, or what is your target audience?
So my target audience is culture centers and leaders.
Okay.
So people who people who are going and leading in a church.
Okay.
Especially if they're new and fresh. I love helping out people who are, especially in ministry, because there's so many landmines. As I was sharing in my story.
Yes.
And I would love to help people avoid so they don't get hurt.
But those led you to, that was kind of like Jesus leading you to a new, beautiful place to where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like those things made you who you are. So.
And that's the amazing thing about what God does is, it's He's telling a story that we would never tell in a timeline that I would never choose for myself.
Yes, that timeline is like...
And that's really... And again, it's like, when you go see a movie, it's, all right, the movie's 2.5 hours. Okay, we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
We're going to start seeing some stuff wrap up. But we have, God doesn't care.
Yeah.
God doesn't care. And even decades after people have passed, the impact that they're still having. Mm-hmm. You're not, you're not hearing that until, it's your turn to connect, to have coffee with Jesus someday.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating.
It is.
But, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. And it's storming outside, and hopefully that I don't get struck by lightning.
I don't think you will.
But, no, it is. And I think...
God wants to know what's on your heart, so...
Yeah, 100%. And that's where... But I love helping people, because I don't want people to feel alone, to have to do things alone. And leadership is hard, and to do it well is difficult. And people, especially inside the church, it's hard to... We want to be mindful of that, and just, if I can help people... lead better. That's what I can do. So so I've been doing that, and I have a couple of clients. My full-time job is selling cars, for right now. But I started the coaching business, and I'm working towards. There's a credential called the International Coaching Federation, which is. So I have my master's, which is, I can't remember how many hours and credits and everything of that is, and then ICF is the kind of like the gold standard of coaching. So you can join and sign up, and their job is to set the standards of conduct and enforce them amongst coaches and stuff like that.
So that's what you're working on now?
That's what I'm working.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have everything but a couple of hours that I need to do to put it in, and then they're big on ethics and everything like that.
Okay. Do you sort of know what you want your future to look like then with this coaching business and what you're doing now for work, and do you know where you see yourself, I guess?
So my ideal scenario is independently wealthy, but plan B is so I'd love to be a coach helping out businesses and churches and leaders get better and take those next steps and grow in their leadership skills and communication and everything. So that's my goal, is to be a full-time coach, communicator, leader, and helping those regards. I'd love to continue living in my little town in central Pennsylvania. Yeah. And
it's a good town.
It's a great town.
It's where I grew up.
raising my son and having the ability to have some fun and have a little more freedom and enjoy the blessings of having a family.
So you don't ever see yourself going back to Michigan?
Oh man, no problem.
No.
I don't count it out. After my son graduates, I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah.
I love Michigan.
Do you?
Oh.
What's some of your favorite things about Michigan? Let's just go on a little fun venture.
Man. So, the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
The best team.
You're saying that in my house that's filled with nothing but Steelers stuff.
Steelers everywhere.
It's everywhere.
There's helmets.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It looks like my house, but the wrong colors.
Yeah.
My son actually says, because obviously his Nana and Pap love the Steelers.
Okay.
And so he'll say the Steelers are better than the
Oh,
Lions.
okay. My son says go Eagles, and that really gets my husband riled up.
Yeah, that might be worse.
Yeah.
So he, but yeah, the lakes, the fruit stands. Like, I'm a huge asparagus. So Oceana County is the asparagus capital of the world.
No way.
Yes.
You're telling me some fun facts.
That's the county I grew up in. We have an asparagus fair. We crown Mrs. Asparagus.
Oh my goodness.
It's full on asparagus.
Oh
as far as the eye can see. And just like every 5 miles, there's just, you know how you see like wood that you could buy? Mm-hmm. It's like that, but asparagus.
Wow.
Just like every 5
asparagus
miles.
stands.
And I love it.
That's cool. I never knew that. I learn something new every day.
I love Michigan.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing, all of this with us. And I know this can help someone out there. And maybe if you're feeling confused or want to have a relationship with Jesus too, I hope that this can bring them closer to their faith. We pause this episode to bring to you Four Sigmatic. Get your daily focus without the jitters. A coffee that is actually good for you. I'm talking about Four Sigmatic. They have taken the health world by storm. Take me to Fungi Town because Four Sigmatic is a mushroom-based coffee that doesn't taste like dirt. They have real premium coffee that tastes delicious. When you drink Four Sigmatic, you're getting functional mushrooms, pre- and probiotics, and depending on which one you choose, it's helping with focus, energy, gut health, immune support, and stress support. All those benefits in one cup. Who wouldn't want to trade their old daily coffee with Four Sigmatic? Many people have made the switch because it obviously tastes better ingredients, and better results. Trusted by experts and performers. Because their products are organic. No mold to worry about in these blends. This coffee comes in ground, instant form, which is my favorite. I just add the packet of hot water, mix, and drink it. No microplastics leaking into my morning coffee like those dirty K-cups. Not only does Four Sigmatic coffee have only coffee, but they also offer plant-based protein powders, creamers, supplements, and a calm mix, which I like to drink in the evenings to help de-stress. It tastes like a nice healthy cup of hot cocoa. All these products contain functional mushrooms, so you're getting the benefits no matter what you choose. I don't like to back companies that I don't use or like, so you know it's true when you hear about my sponsors. I actually use the products I share with you guys. I hate nothing more than being tricked by influencers on products that only get to be scammed and wasting my money on actual product. I have had Four Sigmatic protein powder, and I use their instant coffee just about every day. The calm mix in the evenings, and I have tried their gut health instant coffee, balance, focus, and I have loved each of them. So if you want your mornings to change for the better and upgrade your health routine, Four Sigmatic is for you. And who wouldn't want all those benefits first thing in the morning? Change your life, change your routine, and for the love, change your coffee. Oh, what's that I hear? I hear Four Sigmatic calling your name, Joy listeners. Use my link, us.foursigmatic.com/Gina, all capital Gina, 40963 for 20% off your order. When you use the link, it will bring up the discount code for you automatically. I will also list it in the show notes. Four Sigmatic, because your body and mornings deserve better. Okay, Karl, I want to ask you a couple questions now, before we go, and then maybe we'll do some rapid fire, but let's talk about joy. How has your relationship with Jesus helped you find joy in everyday life?
Yeah, that's a really hard question.
I know. I ask big questions on this podcast. It's called Deep Dive for a reason.
I think, so it's about having a purpose in community. So that's helped me. Without Jesus, I wouldn't have a community. I don't know how people get around.
I don't either.
So I wouldn't have that. And again, having a purpose, helping people know, grow, understand, have a life that is a blessing. And so so I think connecting those things, that brings me joy, that creates happiness, helps me stay centered and focused.
Yeah. I think it's very important to have a community. How do you stay rooted in that joy when life is still hard?
I go to counseling. That's part.
Okay.
Part of
I need to start that.
Yeah, I've been going to counseling for almost 3 years, 2.5 years now. So that helps. And I find vulnerability plays a big part in it. Allowing others to see the real me, allowing them to speak truth into me, reaching out in those times. I'm blessed to I have like 5 guy friends that I communicate with regularly. One of the cool things about the Townsend program is there was a group of us that walked through the whole program together. It was all 2 years, and we did that together. So we kind of have a tight bond. And we last week we did a Zoom call, and we were all just catching up.
That's cool. It's very important to have those friends, those type, there's just that real close knit friend group.
Yes, who just get you.
Yeah. What would you say to someone listening who feels far from God? Like maybe they're searching like you were, or maybe they're just tired.
I think to do the hard work of connecting with somebody and letting somebody in, and I think challenging, being allowed to have your thoughts challenged, and what's the right way to say it? I'm very, your feelings are important. They're a huge part of what's going on, but also being, like we talked a little bit about, just like, hey, I'm only seeing things from my perspective, from my point of view. When you allow somebody else to speak in, to give you an alternating view, it just creates some clarity and say, okay, well, maybe there's something else going on that I'm not seeing, that I'm not understanding, that I'm not feeling, that's why vulnerability is such a big part. That's why looking at other people as human is such a big, important thing. To connect with people is like, we're wired for that. So to do that, to bust through, and here's the tricky part of that, is not everybody can do it.
Right.
Like you can't just call up Billy and just be like, hey man, I'm really having a hard time feeling far from God. Like, you don't know. And so it may be, you might have 3 or 4 conversations before you strike gold.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. So that's the hard part, is trying to find that person that's going to help you walk that journey, because not everybody's there to help you walk through the journey.
Yeah, and like infuse their wisdom, past experiences with you, to walk it with you, I guess. What helps you stay connected to God today?
Yeah, I'm part of the men's group at church, and we do, we're reading through the Bible in a year, which I've never done.
I haven't either, and I have the 52 weeks of the Bible book sitting upstairs, and I need to get my butt on it.
It's so hard.
We're halfway in the year, and
Yes.
I haven't started, so.
And I'm amazed, so I'm caught up, and it's so hard. But it's a great reminder. It's great focus. So I have them connected with the people at church. Those are kind of the major ones, and just the people around me help keep me connected to what God's doing.
Talk about how important it is to have that men's group.
Yeah, it's
Because I don't know if a lot of churches do it, but I feel like I get the sense that it's so important for this community, and to show the men that it's okay to step out and have, that one community at church. And, I think for guys, it's maybe like the mental health side of things are, they're so used to being taught to like toughen up, where I'm coming from. Like,
yeah. There's a reality, and especially I think in our, we're in central Pennsylvania. This is coal miner community. This is people who are, we're tough. We do it ourselves. We don't need anybody else coming in and telling us how to do things. It's a very independent culture, and that's great. That's awesome.
mm-hmm.
But that's not how we were designed to do life. And
Right.
when life hits you hard, you need other people. So I love the men's group because it is real. They drop swear words. They share about what's going on. We laugh, we joke. But it's nothing. It goes for an hour. We don't have a curriculum that we follow. We just have a 90-day devotional that we do once a week. So it takes like 5 years to get through the whole thing. But we just slowly prod, and it's about being there for each other.
Yeah.
And just shooting out a text. Hey, I was thinking of you. How can I pray for you? Let's read the Bible app together. Let's talk about it. So to me, that's been a major help to have a group of friends who, especially, I had some questions. I had some hard things I was going through, and I just made some phone calls. And the guys picked up, and we talked it through, and they prayed with me. And I wasn't alone or crazy or wild.
Yeah.
But that is hard to do.
Yeah.
And again, it's not about being lovey-dovey, frivolous. Like, the guys that lead it are I mean, I'd be afraid to come across them in the alley.
They're manly.
Yeah, they're manly. But they understand you have to be real.
Yeah, you have to talk about your feelings. Like, us ladies, we're always talking. We have our girls that we go to and talk, and I just feel like that's so hard for guys. I know some people in my life, they have a hard time talking about their feelings, and that frustrates me sometimes. But that's just so important for a man to be able to have that community.
Yeah.
To feel safe in. And
to be able to just be themselves,
mm-hmm.
and to know they're not weird. Because they felt sad that their dad died.
Yeah,
Like,
That's normal. It's okay.
Normal, yes.
Before we head into rapid fire, I want to say the salvation prayer for those who are listening who may want to be saved and have a closer relationship with Jesus. To be a born-again Christian, all you have to do is believe that you are a sinner and that Jesus came to the cross to save you and give you home and eternity with him in heaven. Now, he does want us to turn away from our sin and turn to him as we do come into a life of Jesus. But if you just want to take a minute to repeat after me, Dear God, I know that I'm a sinner and I ask for forgiveness. I believe Jesus Christ is your son. I believe he died for my sins and rose from the dead. I trust him as my Savior and follow him as my Lord from this day forward. Guide my life and help me to do your will. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, if any of you prayed that prayer, I just want you to know that Karl and I are rejoicing, and so is all of heaven. And if you feel comfortable enough to reach out to me and let me know that you prayed that prayer, I would love to hear from you. Okay, let's have some fun. We're going to move on to rapid fire.
All right.
What is your favorite worship song? I guess right now.
So I think it would be, oh my goodness.
I know, there's so many.
The name of it? Yeah. But it's the name, it's the elevation song about like, this dame raises dead from the grave.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
You can put it in the notes. But it's, it's the name that raises from the grave. It's elevation.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Bible character?
My favorite Bible character is, I don't know. I'm just going to, the first one that comes to mind is Paul.
Paul, okay.
Paul.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, Moose Tracks.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yep.
And if you had a superpower, what would you want it to be?
Oh, super speed.
Speed?
Super speed. That way I could get stuff done.
Oh, yeah.
And relax.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
What is your most used emoji in your phone?
So it's the rolling over laughing emoji.
Okay, yep.
And so mainly because I use that because I said or did something stupid.
Yeah.
And I would say like, oops.
Sorry.
Let's laugh at this together.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm laughing at myself.
Yes.
Laugh with me.
Exactly.
What is the best smell in the world?
The best smell in the world. I read this and I was literally up last night thinking about this.
For me, it's lavender. One of my favorite smells in the whole wide world.
See, that's interesting because I was
Love
not even
lavender.
close to that.
Well, it's yours. It's not.
So I think for me the best smell in the world is probably like fresh cut hay.
Okay.
Fresh cut hay is very good.
It smells good.
It feels like going home.
Yeah.
So that's one of it. Asparagus. I love asparagus. So that might be one of them.
Oh, man. Every time I see asparagus, I'm going to be thinking of Karl. Oh, that was good. I want to thank you all for coming on today and taking the time just listening to the episode. I hope that you found it to be an inspiring one. And if you can just please share it with everyone that you know. You can also go follow me on the podcast platforms. I'm on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast platforms. This does include YouTube, and you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at gina.rickner. If you can, please go leave me a 5-star review as well. It only takes a few short seconds. You can do this in Spotify and Apple Podcast. It just helps me know that you're enjoying the podcast and moves me up in the list so it's easier to find. As always, go out and find the joy today. Bye, friends.